Welcome, friends. Are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then let me take you back to a time long ago, to the rugged and untamed beauty of the Scottish Highlands in the 17th century. The air is crisp, the heather is fading to a deep purple, and the hills are cloaked in mist. It is the end of October, a time when the nights grow long, the winds howl through the glens, and the villagers of a small Highland settlement prepare for one of their most cherished and dangerous traditions, the Great Haggis Hunt. Now, before we begin, let me tell you a little about the Highlands of Scotland. This is a land of towering mountains, rolling moors, and deep, dark lochs. It is a place where the landscape itself seems alive, where every shadow and every whisper of the wind carries a story. The people who live here are hardy and resourceful, shaped by the land and its challenges. They are farmers, shepherds, and hunters, bound together by their traditions and their love of the land. And among these traditions, none is more peculiar or more thrilling than the hunt for the elusive haggis. You see, the haggis is no mere dish to the Highlanders of old. It is a creature, a wild and wily beast that roams the hills and glens, burrowing into the earth to hibernate through the harsh winter months. The haggis is small but fierce, with sharp teeth that can pierce even the thickest boots. It is said that a haggis bite can leave a wound so deep it takes weeks to heal. And so, the hunt is not just a test of skill but of courage, a rite of passage for the men of the village. Our story begins in the heart of the village, in the warm and smoky confines of the local inn. The fire crackles in the hearth, casting flickering shadows on the stone walls, and the air is thick with the smell of peat smoke and ale. The men of the village have gathered here, as they do every year, to plan the great haggis hunt. They sit at long wooden tables, their faces ruddy from the cold and the drink, their voices rising and falling in a lively debate. At the head of the room stands the landlord, a burly man with a booming voice and a twinkle in his eye. He holds a battered old hat in his hands, and one by one, the men step forward to drop their names into it. This is the moment of truth, for the name that is drawn will belong to the chieftain of the hunt, the man who will lead the others into the hills and bear the responsibility of bringing back the finest brace of haggis. The landlord shakes the hat, the names rustling like leaves in the wind, and then he reaches in and pulls out a scrap of paper. He unfolds it slowly, savoring the suspense, and then he reads the name aloud. A cheer goes up as the chosen man steps forward, his chest puffed out with pride, and the landlord claps him on the back. The next morning, the village square is alive with activity. The men gather in their hunting gear, their boots laced tight and their spades slung over their shoulders. These are no ordinary spades, mind you. They are specially designed for the hunt, with narrow blades that can fit into the haggis holes and sharp edges for cutting through the tough Highland soil. The women and children watch from the sidelines, their breath misting in the cold air as the village piper steps forward. The piper raises his bagpipes, and the first mournful notes of a Highland tune fill the air. The sound is haunting and beautiful, echoing off the hills and stirring something deep in the hearts of the villagers. It is the signal that the hunt has begun. The men set off, their spades glinting in the pale autumn sunlight, their voices carrying on the wind as they make their way into the hills. The hunt is no easy task. The haggis is a cunning creature, and its burrows are well hidden among the rocks and heather. The men spread out, their eyes scanning the ground for the telltale signs of a haggis hole, a small mound of freshly turned earth, a tuft of fur caught on a thorn bush. When they find one, they work quickly, driving the spade into the ground and digging with practiced skill. The haggis, startled from its slumber, bursts from the hole with a snarl, its sharp teeth flashing in the sunlight. The men must be quick to catch it, for a haggis on the loose is a dangerous thing. By the time the sun begins to dip below the horizon, the men are weary but triumphant. They return to the village with their spoils, the haggis strung together in braces and slung over their shoulders. The women greet them with cheers and laughter, and the children run to see the strange and fearsome creatures that will soon be transformed into the centerpiece of the village feast. But the hunt is not without its dangers. There are always a few who return with bandaged ankles, the telltale sign of a haggis bite. And there are those who whisper of the times when the hunt has gone wrong, when a man has strayed from the path and vanished into the hills, never to be seen again. For the Highlands are a wild and mysterious place, and the haggis is not the only creature that roams these lands. And so, as the villagers gather in the inn that evening, their bellies full and their spirits high, they raise their glasses to the chieftain of the hunt and to the haggis itself, that fierce and elusive beast that has brought them together once again. The fire crackles in the hearth, the bagpipes play a lively tune, and the laughter and stories fill the air. But as you sit here listening to this tale, remember this. If you ever find yourself walking in the Scottish hills, always stick to the path and wear sturdy boots. For the haggis may be a legend, but legends have a way of coming to life in the Highlands. And you wouldn't want to find yourself on the wrong end of those sharp, biting teeth, would you?
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.